to Inside the Creative Mind of Amazing Amanda Mulder with me, Amazing Amanda Mulder. Well, it is officially April, and if you watch some of my videos on YouTube, April 1st was April Fish Day, a holiday the French and I celebrate in our sardacious glory with some fish fun. And also at the beginning of the month, it was Dingus Day. So I hope you got out your pussy willow and you showed someone a good time and you had some fun. I was busy with progress reports and it was snowing, so I did celebrate April Fish Day a little bit more, but I have both the spirit of April Fish and the spirit of Dingus in my heart. And I wore this dress because you beta believe I'm glad to be back. It's been exactly 2 months since I filmed my last video, and I really didn't want to be on a hiatus that long. But I film and edit these videos from my cell phone, and my previous cell phone battery got so hot that the back of my cell phone melted and was flapping open in the breeze, which is not really a good way to have a cell phone. The timing sucked because the upgraded version of my cell phone didn't come out until a couple weeks after that happened, but I couldn't keep going through life with a cell phone flapping in the breeze. So I had a phone for a little bit that was temporary and couldn't really film. The old phone I had, they didn't really make anymore. It was all complicated. But anyway, so for a month there were some other things that happened, but for a month I couldn't trade in my temporary phone. I had to wait to trade it into the upgrade, but last Monday I finally acquired this new phone that I can film on again, and I'm so excited. So I'm back on track for filming. Yay! I missed you all. I really do enjoy filming these videos to talk about my thoughts, the things I'm learning, my mental processes, and I'm excited to be back. I really missed it. It keeps me on track. It keeps me thinking about comedy. It keeps me learning and growing as a comedian. So, but you know, life throws unexpected things and you can't help it sometimes. So, yeah, I did the best I could. I also fully recovered from that in March. I fully recovered from that respiratory virus that was kicking my butt. I was literally sick for 5 weeks and it was disgusting, but, and it was hard to work and do anything else other than work. So, I think the first week of March, I started to feel better, but, I'm glad I'm fully back and recovered from that because we've still had hot and cold weather. It's like 80 degrees today, but like Monday, it's supposed to snow and go back down to 30 degrees. So that's normally when my body struggles with respiratory stuff. So yeah, so I just never know. It's respiratory roulette season right now. So, but yeah, I have so many updates since it's been 2 months since my last video. I've had incredible opportunities. Not all comedy, but just fun projects. Oh, my little fish. He's doing his own thing, just like fish do. But I was part of an amazing project at the end of February. I was Renaissance Dance Maestra for the Hidden Treasures Fantasy Ball, which was an enchanting experience. It was seriously one of the best times of my life. I taught historical dances to many people in Erie who had never danced anything like that before. And the night was just incredible. It felt like a historical ball you'd see in a movie. Like, I'm thinking one of my favorite movies, Ever After. It was incredible. Special thank you to my friend Chris, who assisted me as my dance consort, which was a person who learned dances, helped me. He even danced with people that didn't have partners. He had never danced before, but he learned all the dances and did a really great job. And thank you to Brittany, the event captain, who did a wonderful job with the event and includes me as and is very supportive of historical dance. So thank you for including me, and it was just such a great event and an amazing experience, a very well-run event. So very much enjoyed it. The first weekend in March, I acted with my friends, the Confused Greenies, and what went down in Goblin Town, and some improv games at Cleveland Concoction, which was really fun. And enjoyed that a lot. As far as comedy, in March, I came back to some open mics, and because my coughing had ceased, I just didn't want to perform, feeling like I was dying. So I got back to practicing, and that was really great. Board Teacher Comedy Tour, I went to that on March 22nd in Erie, and I really enjoyed that. I stayed afterwards and talked to Jay Yoder and Casey Mack after the show, and they were both really nice and supportive. Took a really good picture with them, and told them I was a local comedian, and they gave me some tips and some wisdom, and it was just really a good experience. Casey Mack told me something that they do as teacher comedians is they think about their transitions between their sets, and they can do a set for different audiences. Like for teachers, the transitions are more teacher related, but it's the same set for different audiences. So I appreciate that, and I wrote that down in my comedy notebook as something to think about in the future. Can you tweak a set just for thinking of your different audiences? And yeah, I really appreciated that. I appreciated everyone's, ability to talk about comedy and friendliness. Yeah, it just was really nice. For the Board Teachers Comedy Show, I think I mentioned on here, I saw the show the last time it was in Erie. I saw this show this time in Erie. It was different comedians. Casey Mack was in both shows. The comedians were different, though, in both shows. Other than Casey. I will say that the thing I like about Board Teachers is they turn the setting into a real party. When you walk in, there's music playing, there's lights flashing. Everyone's really feeling the not only comedy vibe, but the party vibe. And teachers don't really get that vibe too much. So it's just a really fun atmosphere. It was an interactive show. I believe Jay had some people on stage and had an interactive component. So I really liked that. It was engaging, interactive, and the teachers do those kind of activities in class. So to engage the audience more, that's kind of what teachers are expecting. They like that kind of stuff. The thing I'll say about Board Teachers is the last time I saw the show, I saw, I think, Liz and another comedian. It's escaping me who I saw last time in Erie. I know I saw Liz Blanc and another comedian. And this time just didn't seem to have the same diversity of comedians that last time had. When you go to a Board Teacher comedy show, the majority of the audience is, and in the teaching profession in general, the majority of the audience, we're female. I mean, I'm just gonna say it. We're women. I mean, there are some men in education. We love our male teachers, and you know, they're out there. But a lot of the profession's still female, and yeah, and so all the comedians this time were men, and I'm just like, where are the women? Where are some of the women I saw last time that I really loved? Or, I mean, I look at board teachers and I see female comedians, and maybe they weren't available, but I don't know what's going on. But if there are female comedians out there, are they still on tour with board teachers? Are there not that many anymore? I don't really know what's going on, but I think it's something to think about. Like, if you're on tour and you know your audience is going to be mostly women, mostly female teachers, can you get a woman, like a female comedian up there to like connect with the audience? Can you get, you know, I think the last tour we had Brianna, and she was a black lady and she was really good too. Like, can you get some diversity? Can you get more diverse voices up there? It's just like some of those things I've said in previous videos, like thinking about diversity, thinking about gender, thinking about things before you know, take a show on tour or book a show. Because I just feel like, you know, I don't see myself up there, because my experience as a woman is different than the experience those men are having as a teacher. So, I mean, they were all really good, you know, and they were good. And, you know, the guys I talked to were really good, but, I just, you know, it's just, you're not going to cut, you know, it doesn't represent everyone's experience with what was up there that night. So, but very nice guys, very friendly, overall, you know, a valuable experience talking to everyone. And, I learned some things, and do value that they were able to talk, and, they were very friendly and approachable to me as another comedian. So thank you so much for that. So, coming up, I have a couple things that I'm really excited about. I have a upcoming show with Scotty G and Friends. We're doing another benefit for the March of Dimes at Room 33 on May 12th at 7:00 p.m. Room 33 is a really cool restaurant here in Erie. It has a speakeasy vibe. I'm super excited to perform there. It's going to be just an incredible experience. And if you're available, I hope you're able to come out to that show. I'm going to start up a comedy class again, and work on another set with the Hill People Stanford stand-up comedy class I took last year. I'm looking forward to starting that on May 17th. So yeah, I've got some good things in the works. I had some really amazing conversations with some of my comedy friends this month. Finally got to meet Dan and his fiance Kaylee for dinner, and we got to talk about comedy stuff. So I love that. That was great. And I've got to connect a couple times with my comedy friend Devin. So we've had some good Panera Bread adventures, and the more you can like talk with your friends about comedy, even Steve Martin said in his masterclass, some of the best ideas you can get from people are just talking with your friends, having conversations, thinking about what you're laughing about and what's funny. And those can spark some of the best ideas. And even just connecting with people is a valuable experience in general. I celebrated my 41st birthday in March with my friends, and that was incredible. So thank you everyone and I got to see my family too. So that was a wonderful experience. And yeah, I'm another year older, so yay. So that's great. But yeah, overall things are going well, and happy with life and happy with the direction things are going. The school year is winding down. I think Friday, my supervisor said we had 34 days left, so that's exciting too. But yeah. Okay, so, oh yeah, and there's two really cool things going on. Hacks is in its last season. That's a show I love and I'm following right now. Yeah, that show is incredible. I've watched one episode of it so far, and I got really tired and busy this week, but I'm looking forward to I'm watching it as it goes and trying to watch the other seasons because it all ties in together. But that's a show about a comedian that's trying to find her legacy, and I love that show. And I watched this amazing movie called Is This Thing On? Dan Stone and my friend Eric recommended it to me. And it's about this guy having a midlife crisis, and he stumbles upon a open mic, and it's sort of, he gives him a life purpose again. And it's kind of philosophical. It reminds me of some of my other movies I love, like the Before Sunset, Before Sunrise, Before Midnight movies, and If They Met, the comedy world. So I just loved it. So if you have Hulu and can check that movie out, or if you have another way to watch it, do that. If you can watch Hacks, watch Hacks. Yeah, and let me know what you think. Those are some good comedy things out there in the media. But yeah, so gotta shout out to good media, comedy media. But yeah. So something I've actually had this written for a long time. My fish is, I'm a floppy fish again. Oh, my fish is floppy again. April fish fun. It just continues. But, something I've been thinking about for a while, and I've had this written, I've literally had this written, I don't know, since November, December. And I have a little more time I can talk about it. But I've been thinking about, like, comedy myths and kind of my perspective on it. I don't know, who cares? I care. But I wanted to put out there, like, my perspective on some comedy myths or things I think are a myth. And so I'm calling this Comedy Myths Debunked by Amazing Amanda Mulder. And if you have some thoughts, feel free to share them with me. But these are things that I've either read about, I've listened to Steve Martin's masterclass, I've listened to Steve Martin's book, I've taken classes, you know, and I've made sense of some things through experience. So feel free to take it or leave it, but some of it's opinion, some of it's factual, some of it's through things I've read. So okay, let's get started. So something that I hear a lot when I go to open mics, especially, the first thing people say when they go up to a mic is, "Hey, how y'all doing tonight?" Or, "How y'all doing?" Or, "Give it up for our host," or whatever. So let's imagine you're at an open mic and there's like 10 people, and every single person up there starts off asking the audience the question, "How you doing?" I mean, do you think that you have to start your set off with "How you doing," audience? I would say no. Steve Martin would also say no. And you know, I love Steve. Like, if you're joining this late, I'm seeing Steve Martin next week perform in Cleveland. I'm going to something I've called Steve Martin Fest. He's performing with Martin Short in Cleveland, And I love Steve Martin. He's a muse to me. So I've listened to his books and his masterclass on comedy a couple times, and I love him. But anyway, in his masterclass, he says, if you go up there and you start with a question like, hey, how are you doing? There's a couple issues with that. First off, depending on the audience, you don't know how the audience is going to respond. You could get someone that says, I'm horrible. And how do you respond to that? The audience is like really unpredictable. The other issue is if you're like, if the host, so normally with an open mic, there's a host, and the host has probably already asked that question. So you're also asking that question. When I was at a comedy like contest, I was like the sixth person that performed, and I went back to the audience to watch the other people. Everyone else I saw after me, now mind you, there were like 20 people total that performed. Everyone else after me asked, hey, how you doing tonight? So it's like the audience hears that question over and over and over again, and they just heard it. They heard it the first time the host asked that question. So, Steve Martin, other comedians, they say unless you're the host, unless you're the person that's hosting, and your job is to specifically be the one who is designated to engage with the audience, though asking the same question over and over again to start off your set is sloppy. It slows down the comedy flow. The audience has heard that question over and over again before they've gotten to you. Even if you're the first person, the host has already often asked people how they're doing tonight. And is it genuine? Do you really care if someone screams, I'm horrible tonight? Did you really want to know that? There was one time I was out and about, and I've done a set on this, but I was just minding my own business, and some guy told me he was having a horrible week, and his girlfriend kicked him out, his truck broke down, and his chicken died. Did I want to know all that? No. But he told me that, and those are the kind of details you may get if you ask someone how their day is. And if the answer is no, you really didn't want to know about someone's chicken dying, or if their day was horrible, or, if you didn't really genuinely care and want to know all the details, don't ask. Like, it's not really genuine. It's just like a filler. It's just like wasting time. Figure out a creative way to start off and just go with it. And in the world of improv, we say, like, don't ask questions because questions slow everything down. And even in the world of comedy, questions slow things down. So, for all those reasons, please find a different way to start off. Find a real creative. I don't ever ask the audience how they're doing. I'll say hi. Sometimes I'll say hi. But I'll just start saying stuff. I don't really want to know. Another statement I've heard people say, to be funny, you must be blue. And in the comedy world, that means that you must be, like, inappropriate. You must be, like, X-rated. You must swear. You must talk about, like, gross, sexual stuff or whatever. But I had a good conversation with some people in the comedy world, and we talked about how that isn't true because, sometimes you may get more laughs if you're awkward, if you're blue, because people laugh when they're uncomfortable, but that's not really a real laugh. Like, that's people laughing because they're uncomfortable versus, like, people will laugh at clean humor. A lot of comedians say that if you work clean, you will always get work. The power of the imagination, the power of innuendo, less is more. The imagination is more. Will find you more work. If you're clean, you will find more work because you won't have to censor yourself. But yeah, you don't have to be blue. If you're blue, you're not, you may like isolate some of your audience. You may have less venues you can perform in. There are ways to be funny and be cleaner. It's just, a lot of people it's a challenge, but see if you can do it. Crowd work. Yay or nay? Is comedy crowd work or what? So some comedians do crowd work. Steve Martin says it's a real risk because you never have the same audience. You never know how it's going to go. It's similar to like asking questions and not knowing what kind of answer you're going to get. From all the comedy classes I've taken and the things I've read in the comedy Bible, comedians have an actual set that they follow, like scripted lines that you practice, you memorize, your time, you time yourself. Crowd work, if you're asking questions or you're engaging the audience, it's just unpredictable. And maybe if you've done comedy for a while or you have an audience plant or something, you'll know more about how they're going to respond. But it's a different type of show than a stand-up comedy show. If you're insulting someone in the audience, it might not go well. If you're complimenting someone in the audience, it might not go well. Like if you're complimenting someone's boyfriend, you may upset someone. You don't know. It's another element of unpredictability that slows down the show. It's like a wild card where you could just have your scripted show like a lot of comedians do and just go through it. Steve Martin said like that level of unpredictability is, can really slow down the show and you just don't know if you're going to have a good show or not. I mean, there are some performers that do crowd work and you can, but it's different than stand-up. It's a different kind of show than stand-up. Some merge the worlds and it's just a risk. And it's like, do you want to take the risk? Is it going to pay off? Is it going to be a real bust? And you have to commit. Is that something you want to commit to? But it's not stand-up, it's different. It's just something to kind of think about. Just a couple things. I know this video is getting long, but I haven't posted in a while, so I had a lot of catching up to do, as they say. Here's another thing. I'm a guy. I didn't go to therapy on this week. Let me just get on stage and rant about how bad my life sucks. All the women are fat and ugly and how I can't bang them. This is so funny. This is what I hear on most stages around here. And it's really not. Like, your stage is not really your time to just be ranting about your life, about all the women, how horrible they are. For one thing, you're punching down on women. It's not funny to hear about your sex life or lack of it, body shaming women. Although if you're doing it, it's great because you're going to be single forever. If you're going to complain about someone, maybe get their permission to do it. Yeah, it's just not, no one wants to hear about how you haven't had sex for forever. Yeah, come on guys, do better. Yeah, you think that's funny? I don't want to hear about your ex. my ex, I don't know. He could be good material. Still, yeah. For me. It's punching down because he's a white male guy living in a basement in West Virginia. So that could be funny, and you know, gotta represent, I guess. But well, I don't really talk about him that much, honestly. I think I brought him up once at a riff mic, but yeah, I have other things I talk about more because part of me has put that in the past. So so some people think like comedy is just making things up on the spot. That's more of like riffing or improv. Comedy, like having like an actual set, is stand up, you know, like writing out lines, practicing, really tightening things up. Which leads me into my last point. Is an open mic a performance or practice? Open mic is just practice. Open mic is where performers should be comfortable to just say whatever. Now, mind you, I do hear some things at open mic that I'm just like, I'm not judging your comedy, but I can see whether you're a decent human being or not. Just by what you say. But open mic is for practice. It's to say whatever. Go up there with your notebook. Scribble some things down before you go up and see how it goes. You know, take your rough draft up there. Do whatever. Tweak things. Open mic is not... It's not a performance. I mean, I'm on this chat that is very wild. And they're like, oh, bring some people out so we can see, you know, people can see us perform. And I'm thinking, I mean, they can see people practicing comedy, but no one's really at their best at any of this. So, but yeah, it's open mic is practice. People who get up there, just getting up there is a success. And anything else is... whatever, you know, don't judge someone's comedy at open mic. Everyone is practicing. Everyone's just trying to get better. So, but you can't judge how they are as a human because, I don't know, because people say some very strange things that those just about being human. So, okay. Well, I think I'm going to conclude here because this is a long video, but I'm so glad to be back. Hope everyone has a wonderful April, and I will see you in May. Bye.